Well, good afternoon, Trondheim friends. So this is Pastor Sue, and I am here with you today for this week's episode of Patio Ponderings. And I am actually on a patio today, the patio right outside the fellowship hall of the church. So welcome. I'm glad you joined me for today. And we talk about the story of Zacchaeus. And for anyone who's been in the church, especially as a child in Sunday school, Zacchaeus might be a familiar story to you. And maybe even if you haven't grown up in the church, this is a familiar story. You might even have the songs or the words of a Sunday school song going through your head when you think of Zacchaeus. Zacchaeus was a wee little man was he. He climbed up into the sycamore tree for the Lord he wanted to see. And Jesus said, Zacchaeus, you come down. I'm going to your house today. Yes, I'm going to your house today. And that song, in essence, sums up the story well. So the thing I want to talk about, though, I want to go a little deeper into who Zacchaeus is, and particularly his profession and his part in an oppressive system. So Zacchaeus was a tax collector, and the tax collection system under the Roman Empire, particularly for the Jewish people, was indeed oppressive and it was corrupt. Each person was assigned a certain amount of taxes due, but tax collectors at different levels always collected more than what was due and skimmed off a little for themselves, and over time accumulated a lot for themselves. And we found out in the story this week that Zacchaeus is indeed a ruler in this system and quite rich. And yet, Jesus wants to go to his house to spend some time with him, which of course makes all the people grumble, because in their eyes, Zacchaeus is a sinner. He is participating in a system that is harmful to his own people, that is causing the suffering of his own people. And I can understand their grumbling. I'm with them on that one. How can this man who causes pain and heartache to his own people, to God's people, find some kind of favor with God? That's something in and of itself to ponder. But I'd like to go a little bit deeper than that, because Jesus comes in human form to us to bring justice. By his own declaration, he comes with good news for the poor, freedom for the oppressed. Jesus comes to bring grace for the marginalized, to ask us all to care for those who are vulnerable in our society, the sick, the poor, those in prison. And yet Jesus finds room for the one who does the oppressing. And I find that really intriguing, that the grace of Jesus is big enough, wide enough, inclusive enough to truly cover all people. I mean, we all are, after all, sinners, and yet we do have our little ranking systems in our mind, right? And yet when Jesus says all, he means all. There's no sin, there's no gravity of any sin that pushes someone outside of Jesus' love. But still, how does justice happen for one group of people if the ones who commit the injustice are brought into the same sphere? How is there a system of justice that is inclusive enough and grace-filled enough, merciful enough to truly encompass all people? It is at the very least a system of justice that not only brings people into right relationship with God, but somehow manages to restore relationships with each other, even between the deepest enemies. So that's something I'm going to ask you to ponder this week. Ponder what kind of justice Jesus really brings to us and how expansive that justice is. What could that possibly look like? There's no answers to this. Just let your imagination open up, and whatever ponderings you come up with, I would love to hear. Well, have a great day, have a great week, and a great weekend celebrating the 4th of July holiday. Bye.